Oh my goodness, that one was
Nice.
fantastic. Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome back to the Unhinged BookCast, a podcast hosted by Jess and LJ, who love all things fantasy books. I'm LJ.
And I'm Jess, and we're happy to have you back again.
Whether we're deep diving into thoughts and theories or just riding the vibes, we love discussing our current reads with each other and now with all of you.
Tonight is a special bonus episode. We both listened to the audiobook for A Light in the Flame by Jennifer L Armentrout, book 2 in the Flesh and Fire series. Please note that there will be spoilers for the first 4 books in the Blood and Ash series tonight.
Yes. These are romantic fantasy books that are intended for adults. We will be talking about war, gore, and a lot of no pants dances.
Yeah. So this is your content warning. Our discussions are not suitable for little listening ears. We hope that you're all reading along with us, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts and theories as well.
So let's discuss.
Okay.
Okay, chapter one. I think we should put it right out of the bat that I'm pretty sure we figured this out in the end of the last one and we
We
just like
did.
missed it. Yeah. Okay, so she is Satoria and I'm an idiot, but it's cool. It's fine.
No, I mean, like, that's how they. I do appreciate that Jennifer Armentrout, like, her books go one ends and the next one picks up exactly where the last one
Right.
ended. I
Like we
do
just,
very much appreciate that.
yes.
It's
Yeah,
like one
exactly.
gigantic 5,000 page long book by the end of it all.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, we were a little unclear, I think, because he kind of just like threw that out
Yeah,
there
because she was talking with the fates and the area and whatever
with
in
Holland and Penelope.
yep, about the
Uh-huh.
prophecy and all the things. And there was a lot going on in
There
the
was.
last chapter, just like there was in this one too.
Yeah.
So I think we were just trying to download it all and just couldn't get it all
Yep. But it was confirmed. So she is not necessarily Satoria, but she has Satoria's soul
in
in
her
her. That
vessel.
part still is kind of hard for me to wrap my brain around. But she is Satoria, but she's not Satoria, but she has her soul.
But
But she
they,
also
yeah,
kind of
they
has
were
her
saying
own
like
soul,
she's just the
right?
casing. Yeah, she has her own
Yeah.
soul. She's the casing. She has I quit. So okay, so she's got her soul, Satorshina's, and
Satoria.
the embers or
The
whatever. Like,
embers
and
of
she is the
life.
vessel.
Right. But she's also her own person, though, right?
Yeah,
Right.
she
Okay.
is. Like she is not Satoria, but Satoria
Mhm.
is in her. It's not like she's not like the victor where she keeps reliving all these lives.
I thought she was, though.
She's not. I thought she has her own soul and
Okay, so she
Satoria.
has her own soul, but she also has Satoria's soul. But who knows
Mm-hmm.
how many
Because
other
that's how
bodies
because
have.
they hid Satoria's soul with the
Oh,
embers
right. And
in her.
the embers would only come through. Hold on, I might be way off
The
on this.
Morel
The
bloodline.
Morel bloodline.
And then you got the Keela lady, and she's the goddess of rebirth. And I have so many things on her later. It's not even
Ascensions
funny.
and rebirth. Yes.
Yes. So,
She's the one who grabbed Satoria's soul and like kept it from going to the
uh-huh.
veil or something.
Uh-huh. Yep. But yeah, right off the bat, we find out that Nikos can't ever be killed because because to kill a primal, you kill him with love, which is
Right. That's their one
weird, cute, and
weakness.
cliche, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had his cardia removed, which
Yeah.
is like a part of the soul or whatever, so that basically you can't love anybody.
It
And
makes
so
me
he
think
can
of like
kill.
the heart because like the
Yeah.
cardiovascular system is like your heart and all that kind of stuff. So it's like
Yep.
he didn't
And
have his
in the
heart
book,
removed,
it's
but
spelled
is it a K?
Kardia. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's a
Okay.
K.
It's just because I'm wondering if this is going to come into play later in like Blood and Ash also.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Um, but we find out that the goddess Penelope, her mom, her mother was a god of divination. So then there was the gods of divination and the oracles. This was like before Seraphina's time. The oracles were mortals who had lived long before Sarah's birth. Um, but these mortals were able to communicate directly with the gods without having to summon them. And then there was the gods of divination, which were basically the gods that the oracles could talk to. It's also
Mhm.
what I can't remember what the dude's name is in the
The
end that
dude
they
at the
go
end.
find.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
the
know.
dude at
I
the
was
end.
trying to,
Hmm.
yeah, the one that they have to go find that's with like the princess or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, Penelope's mom goddess Penelope's mom was a god of divination. They were the ones, so they lived in Mount Lotho, which I did
Mhm.
not look at a map to look at where that's at, but and then they served in, and I'm gonna get this wrong because I listened to it really fast. Embers or Ember, one of the gods' courts. That's name
Yeah.
is something like Ember. Um, and the gods of divination could like receive the visions from the ancients or the first primals. So the first primals would like have these dreams and these visions, but then they would like pass them down to the gods of divination and the oracles. And that's where the
Yeah.
prophecies come from. So, long-winded, sorry. That's where we get the prophecy from, and I feel like because of Penelope, like we're gonna hear more about this later in Blood and Ash.
Yeah.
I think that's it for chapter 1. That's all I have.
Okay. Yeah. And then kind of move into chapter 2, which we both had notes, obviously, because Victor is the
Right?
original Victor.
That was cool though.
I know. I was so excited. Like, I'm driving at this point because I had a job to do, and I'm driving. And I'm just like, wait a minute. And I like turn it up even louder. I'm like, I need to know. Is this my Victor? It is my Victor. It's my favorite.
Yes.
So he's the original Victor, and
Hmm.
he's the only one that is able to remember each life that he has, which
Yep.
is even more sus for me, thinking that what's Poppy's dad's name? Leo.
Leo, Leopold Leo. Hmm.
Yes. So I think the I quit tonight. I think that he was Leo, and that's why he remembers all these.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, I got killed off in this life, so I'm coming back and I'm going to be your trainer.
Yeah.
And I can make sure you get this dagger for whatever reason you're going to need it later,
Hmm.
and that kind of thing. So,
Hmm.
love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I believe he's the one writing this like spell on her wrist, right?
I can't remember who it was. It
I
may,
think it
yeah,
was
I think
him.
it was. I think it was Holland. It wasn't Victor, it was Holland.
No, I think it was Victor. This is when well, no, because he's the one writing the spell on her, and that's why they're having this conversation about it, and Penelope's there or whatever. And he says
Really?
she's the
Okay.
one that found the spell for me or whatever. And so he's writing on her.
The charm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Which makes me think so it's so that she can't be taken. This is so she can't be taken or go
Right.
anywhere against her will. Where was the symbol in the blood where Rylan died
Uh-huh.
so that she couldn't be taken
Yeah.
by
Poppy.
Jericho? No, yeah,
Yes.
Poppy couldn't be taken by
Yep.
Jericho because
Yep.
he's in with the fates and all that, and he knows how things have to happen.
Hmm.
So I think he was also
Oh,
like putting these
I
little
see what you're
symbols
saying. Yeah,
around.
Victor's putting symbols about. Hold on, I'm like catching up here. Yes, I see what you're saying.
Yes,
He's
you see
like
where I'm
putting
going?
Yes, he's like putting symbols around. No kidding. That's yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I just got really excited for a second. I'm like, hold on. Two and two makes
Like
four.
I could hear the light bulb. I couldn't see it, but I could hear the light bulb.
There's a bright one.
I'm glad you're following what I'm thinking because it
I
was
am
totally
following.
like
Uh-huh.
offhanded, but
And it's a lot. We both had this note, but in the last Blood and Ash, Millicent,
mhm.
she had like Cass talks about how she had like markings all over her arms,
Uh-huh.
like symbols, and then she like washes them off. Um,
Yep.
Also in the last one, Poppy is like feeling that like on the pillars in the tunnels or whatever, there's markings again. And the queen is like, this
Uh-huh.
keeps people in or out. Yeah. I love putting the pieces together. I love when books like this we have prequels in the middle and stuff that it's fun.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna let you take off for a while because I didn't have any more notes for a while because, like I
Okay, I'm
said,
sure
I
you'll have some
was
things to say.
driving a lot of what I read for this next like half, and so I don't have a lot of notes. But
Okay, so I've got a few more here. We're not going every chapter for this
right,
bonus episode either, so we will be jumping, but we're gonna try and keep it in like chronological order. as much as possible.
Just for our own brains as
For
well.
sure, exactly. Okay, so then the next note that I had, the next thing that's kind of just a quick little thing was in chapter 9, uh not Poppy, Sarah is talking to Nectis, the Draken, about Jadis and Jadis's mother and all that
Yep.
stuff. And so just a quick little note that we find out that Nectis's wife, mate, and also Jadis's mother, her name was Helena, and
Yep.
she was killed by Colas, murdered
Yep.
2 years prior to this time.
And
So
what was the reason? Wasn't there a reason for it?
they didn't
Because
say it in
Nectit,
this chapter, but I also didn't take a note about it later. So
okay, it was something Nectis wouldn't do something, right?
I think Nectis would not he wouldn't join Colas.
Yeah.
He kept we could be wrong there. I think that's what it was though. I think
It was something like
he
that. And so
stayed
he just
loyal to
retaliated.
Nyktos. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so he like as revenge he decided to kill Helena. And they were mated, Nectis and Helena.
Yeah.
So they talk about how the right, and I don't remember who's talking here, because like on Audible you can just take like quick little notes. I think you can only use like 34 characters or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like a quick little blip here. So you can help me fill in the gaps. But the right was once actually necessary. And the goal was like to create younger gods to enter Elysium and to replace those who had grown too old or had passed. It was like a balance of
Yeah.
sorts to
Yes, because
create
we're all about the balance.
all about the balance. And also part of the balance was creating gods that were also like half mortal and knew what it meant to be mortal. Because there were gods that were born gods, and then there were those third sons and daughters were the ones that were given over in the right that had a little bit more of the ether in their blood, right?
Yeah.
That could be
Or
ascended
essence, I think
into,
is what they called it. But yeah.
yeah. Which I'm wondering though, how is that any different than a vampire? But it sounds like it's different.
It is different.
It is different because Cola started the vampire thing and that was like bad. But this
Yeah.
was like they actually ascended and it was actually people who truly were chosen. It actually was a good thing.
Mhm.
It started off good. And that was the goal was like balance, gods that also knew what it was like to be mortal, so they had compassion and things like that.
Mhm.
Um and then the whole like the chosen being veiled and can't speak to anybody and all that whole thing, that was a mortal creation. The gods never
Yeah.
required that. That was all the mortals that started that whole crap.
Yeah.
Oh, this was just a quick dumb little note. Not dumb, but I just like putting the pieces together between the prequel and the Blood and Ash, the Flesh and Fire and the Blood and Ash. So chapter 14, the primal of accord and war. What is his name? Is that
Uh, was
it's
that
a guy
one
who comes and visits, and then the guy who like is kind of a double agent in the end. I'm pretty sure.
Atis?
Yeah,
Atis?
something.
Atis?
Sure.
Atis? Sure.
Adis. I think it's Adis.
Atis. Yeah.
That sounds right.
I was like, I'll get this eventually.
I didn't even write the name down. I was like, it's so funny how I can listen to it and then I go to write the note down like 2 seconds later. And I'm like, crap, I can't remember what it was.
The amount of
Um,
times where I just like looked at what chapter I was in the book and found it,
but
I
yeah,
did a
because you have the
lot.
books. I
I
know. I
did.
couldn't
I
make
do
myself
have the books
buy
for this
them.
time. Yep.
Um, anyways, so just quick little note. His horse's name is Seti or Sete, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Which that's what like I just put the like, oh, that's Cass's horse in Blood and Ash. And they say
Mm-hmm.
how that horse was named after the primal of Accord and War, the god of Accord and War. And I was like, oh, there he is. So had to throw
Uh-huh.
that in there. Then chapter 21. So this is my last note before you have some stuff
Okay.
here. Um, so I thought this was interesting. In the like beginning, primals, they didn't really feel emotion. They didn't feel love, they didn't feel hate. They were just balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then they became curious and about like the mortals and their emotions that they were feeling and stuff. And then these aren't super detailed here, but then the first primal fell, as Nito says, and Sarah's like, fell like died, and he's like, no, fell in love.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what caused all the primals after that to then have emotions, and then even the Ere and the Fates also could feel love, which like
Mm-hmm.
Holland and Penelope obviously have like a thing for each other.
Yeah.
Um, so then that's when the first primal fell in love, and then the Fates worried that that would tip the balance that they had created basically, and that's why they made love the primal's only true weakness
Yep.
at that point.
Okay. So then, like, roughly chapter 23, and mind you, I'm not going to do all the chapters because I didn't write down all the chapters, but so she calls him Reaver Butt for the
Yep.
first time. And I
Yep.
think, I don't know. We talked about this last time, and I think that's the only reason like I caught on to it and why I thought
Mhm.
it was so cute. And I'm wondering, like, is she the first one to call him that? And that's why it's a thing.
Well, because they say in Blood and Ash how he was called that when he was younger and he liked it, and so they keep calling him that. And when she calls him that for the first time, he makes like a he's in his dragon form and he makes like a low, like contented sound in his throat when she says that.
Uh-huh. And he's like, he's so cute as a little kid, and I love it.
I know. I know. It's funny thinking about him as a little kid and thinking about him in Blood and Ash.
Uh-huh. Just constantly naked and doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we are gonna go see Ezra, right? Because she makes this big old thing that she wants to go see her stepsister.
Mhm.
And they want to warn her for what's to come. And I think that was just like an interesting thing. And so she is the queen, and she does have her consort, which is Miriam or something like that.
Something like that.
Oh,
The one that
yeah.
Sarah saved, brought back to
Yep.
life.
Yep. Um, because I know we just talked about either the episode or the episode before about how the what Poppy was reading in that old book or whatever. I
Hmm.
think this is before Vessie's come, or not Vessie's. Oh Jesus,
Vesa.
Vessa.
Yeah.
Um, the old woman twisted.
Hmm.
I don't know what she is, an old witchy woman.
Yeah.
But we were talking about how it was like a wedding announcement or something like that of their daughter, whatever that princess is,
Yes.
to somebody else. And so I was like, that's who that is. And you were like, is it
Yes.
really? And I was like, yes.
I know. I love making
Um,
these connections.
yeah. And then she was, oh, so they're going, what is he doing? So
Um,
he's taking her to the underground lake, but this is like before we get
yeah.
there. And they go through the tunnels under the temple, and she says about how it reminds her of the tunnels under Wayfair Castle,
Hmm.
which is what we think where Castile was held, because we don't actually know where Castile was held because she wasn't
Somewhere
able to
around
see.
there though. But
But
yeah.
she used to say how the tunnels down there would go all over the city.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, like, when they end up with Malik and going under the temples of Nikos or whatever, and that's
Hmm.
how they find him. So
Hmm.
it's like, where under everything is it? And that's why I think her dad, who is Iris,
Hmm.
is under the white temple that's there. That, like, she says is like looks like diamond or something like that. Remember? Because there's
Yeah.
the one that's of Nikos, and then there's the other one that's all like white and shiny.
Yeah.
So I think her dad's under that one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then anyway, but they're going past this, like, I guess prison or something like that.
Yeah, like
And
dungeons basically.
dungeony, yeah.
Hmm.
And the bars of bones
Yep.
are belong to the gods and their children, or the deities. And the only thing they don't hold is a being of two worlds. So I think
Yep.
that's going to be important at some
I do
point.
too. I do too. I had the same note. Hmm.
Hmm. So maybe it won't
Yes, they
hold
can't
Kieran
hold
or
Kieran or
Wolven or
Drakens.
something. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's interesting. And hopefully that comes back up, which I think it will, because it was just a small little, like, two liner.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, also
so
makes me think though, will the bones not hold Poppy? Because
yes.
she would technically be a being of two worlds because she was
But
not
then
born
would
in Elysium.
Seraphina?
Right. I don't think so because also born of two worlds. Well,
Right. In
she's
theory.
she's all mortal, but then she's got like the primal embers in her or kernels of life or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I, I don't know, but and because in the end we're jumping ahead, but when she brings back the Draken,
Who's she?
and they
Sarah or Poppy?
Sarah,
Uh-huh.
because they're saying about how you can't do that,
Oh, when she
being of
brings them back
two
to life.
worlds. Yes, and that's what they tell Poppy, that she can't
Yes.
do it.
Uh-huh.
But it happens,
She's
which
able
is
to.
interesting because
Yes.
Reaver is the one that tells Poppy that she can't do it.
Yeah.
So does Reaver never find out that she did this? That Sarah did this? And so maybe that's why he
Mm,
thinks it's not possible. I don't know,
maybe.
but I think she can.
Yeah. I think so too.
But she wasn't able to do it with the Wolven, but can she do it with the Draken?
But she also hasn't gone all the way through the culling. Well, I mean, into the last book
At the
she
very end,
had.
yeah, that's
So
true.
I'm wondering because
But
like
Sarah
Sarah's
right now
power,
hasn't gone through the culling the whole way.
true, but she seems to be way more powerful.
I think Poppy's more powerful than Seraphina.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but I could be wrong. But we'll see. Um, but anyway, they're going to this underground lake that was made by hand,
Mm-hmm.
and Nika or no. Nikos made it for her when he
Yeah.
had been creeping on her at her little lake, even when she was a child. And she's like, what'd she say? Like, why'd you never come say hi?
Yeah,
Okay, she doesn't say it like
basically.
that. Why'd you never come say hi? He goes, you are a child, and I was technically considered a full-grown man, even
He's
though
like, I was young,
he's
but
one of the youngest primals.
yes, he's like the youngest
I think the
primal.
youngest primal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He goes, but I was still considered basically a full grown man. You were a child. That's why.
Yeah.
Which, okay, so coming into that, all the like at the end of this, she has a couple of dreams of a white wolf
Mm-hmm.
staring at her from across the lake.
Yeah.
So are
Yeah.
these like some happy memories that she's bringing up when like these bad things are happening? And um back in Blood and Ash, when Kieran's like, yeah, Nikos, if it was just a single wolf, then that was Nikos in his wolven form because he preferred that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if a wolf was beside him, it meant like they're, their stuff or whatever,
They're equals.
their
Yeah.
equals or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
um Sorry, I had like a thought like as I was saying that. So back in that, do you remember if so Nikos has never had a face, like never been decrypted with a face. So
Yeah. In
my
like the
thought
pages and
is,
stuff.
does something happen where Nikos has to be of servitude to Colas,
Hmm.
and that's what actually like those things represent, is Nikos is the white wolf, and when he's pictured alongside it, it's actually he's pictured alongside Colas.
I don't know because I don't know if Colas doesn't take a wolf form that we know of.
No. But remember, okay, so how Kieran was saying how it could just be a white wolf, and that's like supposedly like that's Nikos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he was saying, but if he's depicted alongside a white wolf, that's like their relationship, that's Nikos's relationship with a wolven.
Mm-hmm.
But Nikos has never had like his face on anything that we know of, right? And all the
Mm-hmm.
faceless Nikos supposedly is actually Colas.
Everybody, yeah, believes
Do you
that
see
it's
what I'm
Colas.
saying? So
Kind
like
of.
if it was depicted in like a statue or a picture or whatever, and it's the faceless supposedly Colas or supposedly Nikos, but it's actually Colas next to the white wolf, which is depicted as Nikos.
Nikos. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm
I do
saying?
see what you're saying. Uh-huh.
Okay. And it was literally a thought that just came into my head, and I just want to get
Okay.
it out,
Yeah.
which I don't know if it'll matter, but it's like, what if that, so what if he has to serve under Colas or something like that, and they have to hide Seraphina or something like that, or she's
Mm-hmm.
dead, or maybe she's sleeping, and while she's sleeping, because we know she's sleeping,
Yeah.
and that's when Nico's like has to like work with Colas.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know. Like, I know that was just a weird random thought that just came out of nowhere, but I just wanted to get it out there real quick.
Yeah, definitely.
That one didn't even make it to the drawing board. It literally, I plucked it right out of the visions
That
here.
works.
I'm gonna make my own prophecy here. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, so and then at some point, I don't remember what happens, but she does something, and Nectus's eyes like change blue real quick,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, she says something, and he's like, "Well, what'd you see or whatever?" And she goes, "Your eyes turned blue just for a second or whatever." And then he goes, "Oh, okay." Like doesn't say anything to her. And then he goes and tells Nikos. And then
Mm-hmm.
Nikos is like, yeah, that's a big deal."
Yeah,
And he tells her about
because
it. And she's like, "Wait, what?"
yeah, because like supposedly only it's like it's that's the first time they talk about the notum or whatever, the primal notum, and
Yeah.
that only those with the primal notum can see that,
I
I
don't remember
think.
that part, but I'm gonna say sure.
Yeah, I think that's what that was. So that's why like this is a big deal.
But it just kind of gave me like Poppy and Kieran vibes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really hoping like that's kind of where this goes because like Nectus just seems cool as shit. And I like him.
Yeah, Nectus gives me like the whole like Nyctos, Nectus, Seraphina is like Castiel, Kieran,
Uh-huh.
Poppy trio.
Uh-huh. But it's like it's the way that okay, so it's Sarah's sleeping with Jadis. Reaver's like kind of asleep, but not. Like he's still watching
Hmm.
everybody. And Nectus is in there and he's like got his feet propped up on the bed or whatever. And this has been like multiple times that he's watched her sleep or something like that.
Hmm.
And Kieran watches Poppy sleep sometimes.
Yep.
And I think that's why it was just super funny. Um, okay, and then so I have okay, so why did they go to the Vale again?
So they went to the Vale to find the pools of divination, which they could like she had to like spill a little bit of blood and tell a secret, and then the pools would show her what she was trying to find. And that was they were at the time they're trying to find that god of divination guy, whatever his name is, in Ireland. They find him in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ireland. And so that the pools like show her where he's at because they're trying to find him so that he can tell them how to get the kernels of life out of her safely, basically.
Okay. Okay. So before that, right? Because Nikos can't go into the Vale.
Right.
So Nectus is going with her. And like before they like depart with Nikos or whatever, there's these what are called the riders,
Hmm.
and they can only be summoned by the true primal of life.
Hmm.
And they're
Hmm.
like shrouded and everything. So
There's three
like
of
you can't
them.
see their face. There's three of them. And I remember that like whatever the names were, whatever they
I
mean
didn't write them
something, and I
down.
can't
I
think
didn't
about
write
it.
them down.
I meant to go back and listen to it or go back and find it in the book. I totally forgot. But anyway, so yeah, these writers can only be summoned by the true primal of life. And like basically they're not moving. Like and like there's no wind or whatever, but like their cloaks and stuff are like moving.
Hmm.
And they don't say anything or do anything. Like supposedly they just sit there and do nothing. They bow to her.
Yeah.
So she is the true primal of life
Yeah,
and they
because
know it.
yes.
And so yeah, which I thought was insanely cool. And we had to mention that.
Very cool because
Um,
also at the end of our last Blood and Ash book, when Poppy calls out Seraphina's name, she's like, I am calling out the name of the true primal of life.
uh-huh. Okay, and then like the only other thing I had like right in there is that they're leaving, right?
Hmm.
And these little like nymphs come out and
Which the nymphs used to be peaceful and whatnot, but then Colas basically corrupted them. So they
mhm,
are just plain mean, evil, want to kill everything they see,
right.
basically.
And like sometimes they'll let them pass and stuff, but not always.
But they
And
can't be killed.
they can't be killed unless you cut off their head, right?
Yeah.
He says, yeah, go for the heart or the head or something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And but she is able to wipe them out and kill it with ether, which is not possible supposedly.
Unless you're the primal of life.
Yeah, so dun, 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 dun.
Yep. Yep. And then I also had in this too, she's talking with Nectus and talking about death and life and how they're two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. And he goes, yeah, that's why they have the same smell. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he goes, that the lilac, the smell of lilac. So the smell of life is the smell of a lilac. And I can't remember why. There's a symbolism there, and I didn't write it down. But and then he says how death also smells like lilacs, but like a bad smell, like a stale, moldy lilac
Mhm.
is what death smells like, which is just interesting because we've heard it over and over and over from book one of Blood and
Yeah.
Ash, that dead lilac smell.
Hmm.
On the same train of thought with the lilacs, Nectus says, yeah, so like basically, if you see lilacs near a body of water, then you can be sure that you're close to a gateway to Elysium. And if you don't, then you're sure to be close to a gateway to the Shadowlands, which made me think of um the very first time that Cass takes Poppy to the tunnels in Spessa's End, and as they're getting close to that pool, the hot springs, there's lilacs all over, like fresh ones. And so I wonder, is that pool that they were in that Blood and Ash book? I can't remember which one it was.
That's under the mountain.
Uh-huh. If
Hmm.
is that pool a portal to Elysium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they come back from this little excursion, right? And
Mm-hmm.
because she had said something before about, I want to be your consort. It basically means like, I want to actually like give this a go. I want to try to be your
Yeah,
wife and
more than
not
in
be
just
just,
your
yeah,
just in name. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That was right before she left Nyktos to go into the
Yeah. She
Vale.
just says it, right?
Yep.
In front of the writers. And then so she wants to confront him about this little conversation and goes into his office, and Vestes is there and there's some things going on.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of asking questions, she just gets
Ugh,
all pissy, and we have miscommunication for the next like
drives
5
me
chapters, 10,
crazy.
20 chapters. I don't know, but it was stupid. Anyway, so and then Jess, you have some notes.
Yeah, so then after this, like, so not just after this, so she goes into like a rage thing after this when she sees
Yeah,
Vestes with
she goes
Nyktos.
down to the little inside lake.
And she's like freaking out and basically about to bring the entire palace
She
down
goes
on everybody.
batshit crazy.
And Nyktos finds her and he's trying to pull her out of it, trying. And then I think it was Rain who was like, you're gonna have to just fix this right now. So he has to use
Hmm.
compulsion and he puts her into stasis.
Yeah.
So
But before that, though, like
th
the roots are coming up and like she's getting tangled in them, right?
yes. So during this whole situation, yeah, as she's going into her freak out mode right before Nyktos comes and puts her down, puts her out, he there's like all these roots that start growing up around her and whatnot. And that's like the last thing that she remembers before Nyktos puts her into stasis. So then after she wakes
Hold
up,
on, hold on. Before
yeah,
you move on to that, though.
okay.
So, do you remember when I think it's like, I can't remember, but they're getting Poppy back. So, this is like book two, maybe book three. And they're getting Poppy back from like Alistair and all those, right?
Yep.
And this is when he ascends her. Okay.
Yep.
The blood tree grows and its roots are like covering her and trying to keep her, right?
Yeah. Well, and then that's what I
Hmm.
was getting to because
Yeah, I
after
know.
she talks, so after she wakes up, she's talking with Bella and Rain and talking about what she remembers about that the 3 days ago and everything that happened. And she's like, there was these roots, and then I think it was one of them. I think it was Bella who was like, well, yeah, the roots. I can't remember what they're from exactly, but they grow up. They like protect them. Like they could
Uh-huh. They
tell.
protect a primal
Yeah.
in their stasis.
Yeah, because they know they're going into like a vulnerable state, basically. So they like
Hmm.
engulf them to protect them. So then we go to chapter 33. Colas finally has summoned them because they couldn't go through with the coronation and all that stuff because Colas is like, I need to give you permission, and I will give you permission when I feel like it. So I'll summon you, and then we can talk. And they didn't
Yeah.
know when they'd be summoned,
And
so
they
he
have to answer
finally
the
summons
summons within
them.
like 24 hours or something.
Right, or bad things will start happening. So they go to Delos, and they get there, and she notices all these guards that are there have the same face paint on them as the revenants in Blood and Ash. Which obviously,
Hmm.
like, Sarah doesn't know that, but like we're putting this connection together. Like these guards all have this like winged, thick face paint on their face. and it's the same as the Revs in Blood and Ash.
Yeah.
And then along that same train of thought, we move into chapter 34. And so they're in Delos. They haven't quite entered into the palace yet. They're like on the front steps, and two people come out to meet them. It's that what I cannot remember the guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
There's Dicey's, this guy named
Pisces.
Dicey's, and then the other god who ends up being like a double agent in the end, whatever his name is. Um,
Atis.
yes, Adis.
Something like that. Atis. There
Adis.
we go.
And so Niktos, I don't know, Dicey's is saying annoying things and it irritates Niktos, and Niktos is like, I'm done with this, and rips out his heart. Um, and so they think like, okay, he's dead, whatever. And then Poppy keeps noticing how he's twitching, he's and stuff, and I'm like, oh, and he was one of the ones that had
And
like
she
a
doesn't.
painted face.
Yeah.
And so this is where I'm like, that's Callum. Because they talk about it's like the golden face paint, he's got blonde
Mm-hmm.
hair and all this stuff. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Callum. And then we find out later that it's not, but that was my first thought was like,
That guy
that
had
was
to be him.
Callum. That
That
has to
was
be
my
him.
thoughts too. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. And then so basically she's like, it's my fault that we didn't ask for your blessing more or less for my coronation or
Yeah,
whatever.
she's
And
trying to be play the
yeah, because she
nice
doesn't want
person.
Nikos to go through or Nikos to go through whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then so basically, long story short, they had brought this young Drake in and he knew what was gonna happen. So basically, to please Colas or whatever,
Like
she
his
has to
test
kill him.
of respect and
Yeah,
loyalty.
she has to kill this kid.
Yeah.
And if she chooses not to, then Niktos has to do it and she still dies, kind of thing.
Well, they all still
And
die. Like the kid's still gonna die and his
yeah,
family and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And they were to kill her too.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so she does that. And then they immediately leave and then they go to the place um
Adis.
where Adis is. And
His like court or whatever in
yeah, and they're
Delos.
like,
Mm-hmm.
give us the Draken like now.
Mm-hmm.
And she brings him back
Yep.
and he goes, Thad. And she goes, what? And he goes, my name is Thad.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, okay, so obviously we find that out because that's one of, like we were just talking about, one of the young
He's the youngest.
he's the youngest from Blood and Ash or
The
whatever
youngest
in the
Drake
end.
in the
Yeah.
Blood and Ash. Mm-hmm.
And that is also my son's name. So for whatever
Yes.
reason, like when he says, my name is Thad. And it's really cute because my little boy, he's got some things going on. And like he does that all the time when he first meets somebody. He goes, my name is Thad. And it just like
Oh.
it was super cute. And so like it made me cry. Like an actual tear
Yeah.
came out. Like it was like still kind of happy tears, but it's still like a little tear came out. And I'm like, holy smokes, I'm crying a lot.
You
Like this
might be
never
beating
happens.
you're
I
ahead of
am, I think.
me.
I was last time. I probably still am.
Oh yeah.
So fucking Vessies
Yeah,
shows back up.
they get back to the Shadowlands.
Right.
They're done there and everything.
And so
Yeah.
Vessies is back, this bitch. And they have that whole spat because Vessies wants to know like what she is. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
she assumes that like she was ascended or whatever. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
know what she is, but she's gonna try and kill her. And I'm like, just put her in the fucking dungeon. Like that's all we
I
do. We
know.
can't do anything more. Like
I know.
whatever.
I know.
Whatever. And then like we have the coronation or whatever. And then she says something. She's talking about like if she doesn't know if she loves him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, is this love? Is this indigestion? So I was like, is it love or indigestion? And I'm gonna start saying that from now
Yeah.
on because it's funny as can be. And then like kind of during the after the coronation or whatever, we have this Keela. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and she's the goddess of rebirth,
Ascension and rebirth.
ascension and rebirth, right? And my thought is I wonder if this is what we know as Willa Collins.
Oh, I didn't have that thought. That's interesting though.
I
I can
do.
get on board with that. Okay.
Okay, because like Willa Collins or whatever, when she first talks with Poppy when they first meet or whatever, she's and she's telling her about how Penelope was a seer, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
goddess Penelope was a seer. And she's like, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And during the whole coronation, they're sitting together and talking the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I just, okay.
No, I don't mind that thought.
And I don't know. Okay. And then, like, because so supposedly she helped Ethos, like get the embers to put in whoever or whatever, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
so Sarah the whole time is like, she's got to know, right? Like, she knows it's me, right? Kind of
Well, and
thing.
also Keela is the one who intercepted Satoria's soul
Uh-huh.
and placed it in all the places that she's placed it. And then they talk about how she also is in charge of like when a baby passes, how they haven't really like lived. So
Hmm.
where do they go? And it's Keela, and so they say how Keela like takes their soul and gives it rebirth, which is why she's also the goddess of rebirth, and how she'll like follow the soul. And so Sarah's like, well, does she know then? Like if she follows each soul that she replaces, does she know whose soul originally is in like the new bodies and stuff? And then she's like, she
Hmm.
knows. She has to know that Satoria's soul is in me.
Yes. And like, that was kind of my thought with that statement, just that she follows the soul. And I was
Hmm.
like,
Okay.
she knows so much about Poppy. She's the seer at the Red Pearl.
Yep.
So she knows who Poppy is and what's going to happen with her. And she just kind of keeps popping up in all these
Yep.
different parts of Poppy's life.
And we know that Willa is like at
She's,
least 2,000 years old, but no one knows exactly how
they
old
know
she
she's
is.
the oldest one,
Yep.
like all these. Mhm. I don't know, but I'm keeping my eyes on this
Yeah.
Keela Willahima, Killa
Will
Willahima,
Wilhelmina.
Willamanina.
Yeah. Yeah. We're into chapter 44 now, and they go to find the guy. Still can't remember his name, but the god of divination that they found in the pools. He's in Ireland with the chick that was originally supposed to marry her stepbrother, who was a
Yeah, this princess.
yeah. Anyways, so they go to find him, and he's kind of like masquerading as a mortal.
Hmm.
They don't know that he's a god, but so they go to find him to ask him basically how to get the kernels of life out of her safely.
Hmm.
And he starts talking about the last oracles and how the last oracle came from the Belfour line.
Hmm.
And so as soon as they said that name, I was like, wait a minute.
I've heard that before.
Heard that name before. And so in Blood and Ash, Poppy has always believed that that was her last name, was Belfour, up until she marries Castile, obviously.
Yeah.
And even like Alistair, everybody's like, oh, that's an old name. That's an important name. That was a big, big deal back in the day was the Belfour line. And so this guy's talking about how the last oracle came from the Belfour line, which could
Hmm.
be either Cora or Leo, because that's who she believed her parents to be. That was her last name. Okay, so then they continue talking with this guy, and he starts talking about, and I didn't take great notes on this, so hopefully, you guys have just read this and you can fill in the blanks. Um, but there's I think it was a diamond,
Hmm.
which was I can't remember exactly what it was. It was like a big deal. Like there's this stone, diamond, whatever this was. I don't know if you can help me out a little bit with like what it was exactly,
I don't
but it
know. I was
was
getting so
in the
lost, but they kept
mountains.
calling it a star and then a diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he keeps talking about this thing. Um, had something to do with the Drakens, and it's just like a really powerful relic, basically, whatever this
Hmm.
thing is. Okay, so then I'm thinking, remember I think it was even on our last episode. Yeah, maybe in our last episode or the episode before. Poppy is in the palace when she goes to get cast, and she's having these memories of when she was there, and she's thinking about when Isbeth would show her this beautiful diamond stone or
Yes.
whatever. And you were like, what's the big deal with this stone? And I was like, oh, I don't think it's important. I think she was just showing it to her because it's like cracked or whatever. It's not perfect, but it's like
Right.
beautiful
Hold
and all this
on. Now
stuff.
I'm gonna go. Hold on. I'm gonna go pause. We'll be
All
right
right.
back.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what did you find from last time? Because we were talking about this. I was saying like maybe I'll just delete this or I won't even say this because I don't even know. I just remember seeing it and thought it was important. And then you were like, no, this is what I thought it meant. So
Yeah.
what
Okay.
is
So
it?
it's like the star jewel. And you were like, this is important. What does this mean? And I was like, no, she was just showing her that jewel or whatever to show her that like beautiful things can have physical flaws. Okay. So I just found it and it still doesn't tell us a whole lot. But in chapter 35 of The War of Two Queens, there's a part in here that says, okay, Elizabeth stood before us. The ruby crown was absent, as was the powder that lighted her skin. It struck me then that I had seen her like this in her private chambers with warmer pink skin. That time, just at dusk, when she'd shown me the star jewel, a diamond coveted throughout the kingdom and known for its silver glow. Ew. And then she goes on to say, like, even beautiful things can have flaws, uneven, jagged lines that intensify the beauty. So that's all we hear about it, though, in
Right.
The War of Two
But
Queens.
this
But
has
it's
got to be the
there.
same thing.
It
And if
is.
it's like so important to the Draken,
Mm-hmm.
what if this can kill a revenant or make a revenant or something like that?
Or bring the Draken back or something.
Bring the Draken back? Or, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
See? See? I'm just saying. Okay. I have to find where we're actually at in our notes, but I think you were talking, so you go ahead and keep
Oh,
going
you're
if you
good. No,
can.
that was my thoughts. That was just all I had to say about that was like that just popped out at me. Like he's talking about this star jewel diamond thing, and I was like, that sounds familiar. I've heard that
Yeah, and
before.
I like kind of put it out tonight too, and I didn't even think anything of it. I was just like, yeah, just some star jewel or something that might be. Well, they were thinking that this might be what fuck. Um, this might be what could help her get the embers out of her or something like that.
Right. There was a
Yeah.
reason that he was
And they're
bringing
and
it
they're like,
up.
it doesn't
Yeah,
matter because Colas already has it.
that's right.
So that's why you can't get it. So if Colas has it now and later
Isbeth
Isbeth
has
has
it.
it,
Uh-huh.
oh man, I need to know now.
Yeah.
I need it. We need to keep going so that
Yeah.
we can start reading. Um,
Because there's others. Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, so this guy's like, okay, well, since that's not an option, now you have three options.
Mm-hmm.
You can become the true primal of life and restore balance to the realms. Another primal can come and take it from you, which would basically kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Or Negos can take them by ascending you, and you're still going to die because these embers have merged to you.
Yeah.
So
So
basically, the embers are part of you now.
yeah, so like instead of like the ascension where they drain them of all but one drop of their blood and then
Mm-hmm.
replace it with a god or primals, Nyktos would have to, or somebody would have to drain her completely, which would kill
Yep.
her. But that would be the only way to get them out of her.
Yep. And they come back, right? And the Daki, what is it? The Dakis?
Dick eyes.
Dakis.
Mm-hmm.
They show up and there's just been a whole bunch of shit show going on. And Adis is here,
Mm-hmm.
which is our double agent dude, which I don't know if he's bad, to be completely honest.
I don't know either.
I I have thoughts, but I'm not sure on
Mm-hmm.
those thoughts yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't take her because of the spell or curse or whatever it is around her wrist from
Yeah.
the symbols that Victor put on her in the
The
beginning.
charms.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the charms. And so he's like, you need to go willingly, and then we'll stop this. Like we'll stop killing people, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, I'll go with you. Because I want this to stop or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But my goodness, Nikos is speaking to her from far away.
Oh, okay.
into
I
her
missed
mind.
that. I so missed that. I was listening at 3.5 at this point, trying to finish the book.
Oh my goodness. I'll have to
I
go.
missed Mind Speak.
Hold
You're
on,
kidding me.
pause. Okay, so I found it. It's
Okay.
all I found was one little sentence, and it says, Ash's silvery eyes locked on me for a moment, and I swore I heard his voice like a whisper among my thoughts. Because at this
Hmm.
point, they are separated, like they are distance apart, battles
Hmm.
going on, and I believe this is right after or right before Adis comes
Okay.
and takes her.
Okay. Gosh, I can't believe I missed Mind Speak.
I know.
My favorite.
Wild. Yeah, like when I didn't see it in there, I was like, wait, what? She didn't put this in her notes? Am I the only one that got
Completely missed it.
that? Okay. But so then we got to talk about the last chapter,
Yep.
obviously, because it's wild.
Yeah.
She wakes up and she's in a gilded cage.
Yep.
And you go for it because you called this one. So
Okay,
you
so
go
she's
for it.
yeah, she's in this gilded cage, bone cage, gilded bone cage, and somebody starts speaking to her. Guess who that somebody actually is? Callum. They're like
Callum.
actually Callum. Dicey's was not Callum. Dicey's was just a revenant, but this is a real Callum. And they even say his name is Callum. Anyway, so she's in the cage, and then Colas comes and
Great.
basically is like, "Thank you for your service. Thank you for
I'm
keeping
gonna
my
I'm gonna
embers
take everything out
safe.
of you. Yeah.
I'm gonna take them now. I can't thank you enough for what you've done, and I'm gonna take them now." And then he
But
starts, go ahead.
well, no, first he tells us about the prophecy again.
I couldn't remember if it was the prophecy. Okay, the prophecy was first before she
Yep.
tells him who
Yep.
she, like, who sold. Okay,
Yep.
so I have the prophecy. Do you want me to read the entire thing from the beginning of it to the
Just
new part, or just the
just
new
read our
part?
new part
Okay,
because we get a third part of the prophecy, and then
yep.
I have more.
Okay, so the third part of the prophecy that we get from Colas now is, "For the one born of the blood and the ash, the bearer of two crowns, and the bringer of life to mortal, god, and Draken, a silver beast with blood seeping from its jaws of fire, bathed in the flames of the brightest moon to ever be birthed, will become one, and the great powers will stumble and fall, some all at once, and they will fall through the fires into a void of nothing. Those left standing will tremble as they kneel, will weaken as they become small, as they become forgotten. For finally the primal rises, the giver of blood and the bringer of bone, the primal of blood and ash."
Yes.
That is our new port of the
Yes.
prophecy.
So now I'm wondering, okay, so you were like, I think Millie is the first daughter, and that would make Poppy the second daughter of the prophecy or whatever, right?
We were both confused on that. I
I
think we
know
both
we
had
were.
like back and forth about
Well,
what.
my thought was like it's Sarah and Poppy, and we kind of went through the whole like a first daughter, and then the other one was a second daughter or whatever like that, and it made sense with like their timeline. And I
Yeah.
still think it does. But the third part, I think, is the rebirth of
Satoria.
Shakira.
Sator.
Okay. I don't know why I cannot remember her name. Okay.
Satoria.
So I think it's going to be technically like a rebirth of Shakira. Okay.
Cool.
And she's going to be a diamond Draken
Okay.
because this diamond star thing, moonlight, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And that is what is going to ultimately take out Colas, and he gonna be gone.
Okay, but see, I have my own thought on the whole brightest moon part
Okay, you go
because
for it.
well, it's just like a little tiny thought, but they keep talking about Seraphina's hair. It's not red like Poppy's. It is like moonlight. They say it over and over and over again that her hair is the color of moonlight.
And the essence or whatever left a crescent shaped mark on her.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
I think
yeah.
that when they talk about the silver beast with blood seeping from its jaws of fire, bathed in the flames of the brightest moon to ever be birthed. I think that's Seraphina, the consort. And they
But
talk about how the silver beast
the silver beast
and the The silver beast, with blood seeping from its jaws of fire, bathed in the flames of the brightest moon to ever be birthed, will become one. Nyktos and Sarah. That's my
No.
thought.
Serafina and Shakira. God damn it. What
Satoria,
is it?
Satoria.
Satoria.
But the
They
silver
become
beast,
one.
but is the
There are
silver
two
beast
souls
not
in one
Nyktos?
body. But
Right?
well,
But
okay. No, the silver beast is not Nitos.
I thought we confirmed that at the end of this book.
He's a white wolf.
Yeah, but then she talks about how his fur is more than white. It's like silver. And then she goes, oh, the prophecy. She thinks about it and she goes,
I
he's the
don't
silver beast.
I don't think so. Because why would they talk about okay, so we thought with whoever it Keela that I think is Willa Collins
Uh-huh.
just keeps like playing batters up with the souls and sending them back, right?
Uh-huh.
Or sending her soul back or whatever, and can rebirth lives that didn't get to live. What if
Mm-hmm.
something happens, something unlocks because Sarah is able to not only she's able to figure out how to get Satoria's soul out of her body or whatever, and then they can send it back, and then she can be
Satoria,
Satoria. She's
Satoria.
Satoria can be this beast, which is going to be like a draken and made out of diamond, bathed in the light of the moon or whatever, right? So she's
Maybe?
able to do it because of Sarah. I'm just saying. I think the third part of the prophecy is now Satoria. I got it
Okay.
that time.
You did. Good job.
That's why I'm right. I know it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I have theories. I just don't know exactly how they work out, but I'm just saying. Those are my theories.
Okay.
I will step off my Shakira soapbox now. Anyway, so at the end,
Uh,
she's like, this is what we were just talking about. That's how she gets what's his bucket to stop.
yeah, she's like, do you not recognize me? And that's where the like it's not her voice, it's Satoria
Yeah.
speaking through her, like, do you not recognize me and all this stuff? And he realizes it's Satoria
Yeah.
in the consort in Serafina.
Yeah, and it stops Colis from draining her dry. And then she
Mm-hmm.
basically like I guess passes out in a
Pretty
way
much,
and
yeah.
then goes into this like dream state of um the white wolf watching her from the lake or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh so I bet it's like a dream walking thing again.
Oh yeah, it could be.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Any final thoughts on the whole book or series?
I if we could just use straight communication, I'd appreciate that because the masses amounts of chapters of
I know.
he loves me
Oh
not.
my
Like
gosh, it
I'm
drives me nuts.
for book ratings. I gave it a 3.5 out of
Mm-hmm.
5 stars, I think total. Because the ending was fantastic. The
Mm-hmm.
beginning was pretty exciting. And then there's just a lot of like that like miscommunication stuff that we just talked about. But
Yeah.
other than that, like the actual plot parts were really good and I really enjoyed it. And I wish it would have been such a better rating, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm the same 3.5. And honestly, the book was a 3 for me, barely, up until the end when we finally got a little bit of action and plot that
Yeah.
came
See,
into
like the
play.
action and plot parts were definitely like almost 5 stars for me.
Which it's like I usually love like all the spicy scenes in books. I
Yeah, it was a
love that stuff.
little heavy, honestly. It kind of took away from the
It
story.
took away from the story, it took away from the plot. I don't appreciate that either. Like I don't have to have spice. I very much love it and appreciate it when it's in there, but it was too much.
It was a little much.
I feel
Uh-huh.
like this book could have been so much shorter instead
Yeah.
of like the miscommunication and the oh yeah, that drove me nuts.
Yeah.
So when we
But
finally
like on
started
that
getting some
note,
answers,
yeah.
that
And
what
on
made
that note, it's definitely a flame emoji for spiciness with
oh yes,
is
definitely a
meaning
flame
open
emoji.
door with descriptive page
Hmm.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it
So
was not my
then
favorite. I still love the history. I love
Yeah.
learning and putting the pieces
And
together.
putting it's the puzzle pieces right now that I'm
Yeah.
just absolutely loving. And I'm so excited about this diamond thing because I was ready to like throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's coming
then
back.
you're like, no, wait, it means something. And that's exactly how I was last time. I was like, it means something. And you're like, no, it's a throwaway.
No. And then I brought it up this time and you're like, hold on.
Hold on, ma'am.
Yep.
Series cry counter, which we are including the Blood and Ash series, which somehow I'm way ahead of you, which is
Way.
confusing.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm at a one, no, I'm at a 2.25.
Yeah, because yeah, plus yeah. Because you had
Yeah,
a
because
full
plus
cry
one,
again.
yeah, which is absolutely wild. Where are you at, Jess?
I'm still at a one.
Oh my
I
goodness
don't know
gracious.
how. This book's just not getting me on the cry stuff as much.
Well, that one was like personal, that's why. But
Totally. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was a full blown like a happy. It was cute
It
and
just
like
got you in the
nobody
feelers.
will ever understand it probably other than my husband, but it was
Yep.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it. And I think we should get going here.
All right. So we hope that you are all enjoying the series as much as we are. We are first-time readers to the series, so we hope that you are following along with us. Or if you've already read the series, we hope that our discussions can be a refresher for you before book 6 comes out in just a few short weeks. Make sure to join us on Facebook and Instagram for more fun and conversations.
As well as our club on the Fable app where you can discuss with us spoiler-free chapter by chapter. Next episode, we'll be back to the Blood and Ash series, starting book 5, A Soul of Ash and Blood. We'll be reading through the chapter titled Just a Name because this does not have numbers. We have names of
Mhm.
chapters this time. We will be reading and discussing this book in just 2 sections this time. So the second episode will come out on release day for book 6, A Primal of Blood and Bone.
Mm.
Exciting, exciting.
If you are enjoying reading along with us or just enjoying our conversations and theories, be sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button on your way out.
And buddy reading any book with book besties is so much fun.
So make sure to share our podcast with your book besties. And if you don't have any book besties,
Then consider yourself one of ours. And until next time, fill those drinks with ice.
and your books with spice.
Bye.
Bye.
Maybe we should change that for this one. Maybe not this much spice.
That's a little bit too much.
Take it easy on the spice.